My name is Ina. I am from Norway, actually, and I came to America to travel on a bus with you.
I'm John. I'm from Jersey. This is our bus. It's a 2001 E450. It was an old shuttle bus for elderly people, and we just stripped it out and rebuilt it. Welcome to the Seaward Shuttle. This is our kitchen. It gets modifications more often than it should. Actually, just the other day we added we had the stove up above the fridge over here, and we just cut it in, and then so that way the countertop can be flush, but the range will be high enough to be safe with the heat. And then it's also cement boarded in. It runs on propane, and it doesn't really use much at all. It'll use a 1 pound tank over 7 hours at 400, and we have a 20 pound propane tank in our bench. So yeah, so you have plenty of room to do anything you want. Our utensils are down in here, all the ones we use. Our cooking utensils are in a jar. Here we have bowls and plates. And then we have these boat style latches to keep everything shut. We keep a lot of our cooking stuff. We have oatmeal, sugar, raisins, all that, teas. And then we have a little sink here, which is just actually a kitchen bowl. So we'll fill it up, wash it, and then we pour it down our shower drain. And we just have soldered copper piping. We have a 30-gallon tank underneath, and then we have a 25-gallon gray water tank on the other side. And a little light that's dimmable, so that way when we're somewhere at night in the city or something and we don't want to draw too much attention, it's not too bright, but it's bright enough for us to see. And then Ina also did this really nice tile work back here to give it a little color, and took out the kickboard from the cabinets below, and that's where we store all our shoes. I don't know if that's helpful information, but we like that we have all these windows because it'll help with the when we're cooking. And then if it's really going to be a warm spot, which we have not yet to hit, but maybe we will when we're in Mexico, these are actually emergency exits from when it was a bus, so we can swing them open and have a full breeze through, so it will never get too hot in here. And then we also have the Max Air fan to draw everything out as well. Bought it because of all the headroom, and also it was just really perfect functioning mechanically. Wish it got a little better gas mileage. We got like 11 normally. Cities are not friendly, especially when there's rush hour. We find it really cozy in here. We didn't really need to we don't need too much space. I mean, this is a lot. So a lot of people consider this huge, which is very reasonable, but
It is huge.
In my house at home, I didn't even ever use half of it, and it wasn't a large house. It was an 1,100 square foot house, and I used maybe 400 to 500 square foot of it, so I figured go a little smaller.
Cubby right here, but we built it essentially for the surfboards. That fits really well. Instead of having them mounted to the ceiling, we have them just resting on this. And coincidentally, our chest freezer / fridge fit in perfectly in this area. It is the thing in the bus that pulls the most power. As you can see, we have a lot of storage, pots and pans and fruits and spices and everything.
So Ina actually made the dining room table, and we went to Habitat for Humanity and got a lot of our supplies. Actually, they had a huge bedroom set, all armoire, the little tables and all that, like a 7-piece set, and we got it for $10. So we mainly bought it for the hinges and some extra wood. And she just cut it and sanded all the stain off, and restained it, so we have it as a little table. And it slips into a bracket that's actually from the bus before, where it was a handle, so we just reused the stuff. It's a little wobbly, but we also are not having...
But it swivels,
yeah, it
like the famous lagoon tables. So it has the same function, and we just tuck it away in the garage.
And then underneath the bench, we have our 20-pound propane tank right here that I made a airtight box for, and it's vented out through the floor through its PVC pipe. And then we just have storage, the dog food's in here, some extra linens, some extra water. That's obviously, you see some beer, little extra tools here and there for whatever we need to build on.
I like hiking, John likes hiking, so we thought we made it a little bit of a checklist to go to all the national parks. So I bought this poster off of Explore and Protect, or Park Projects, where I bought it. And actually all the visitor centers at the national parks sell these little postcards, but we made it a little wall of, like a souvenir wall pretty much, yeah. So this is all the places we've been to yet. And when snow melts away, we're going to go to all the ones in the north.
That door was just in my attic. It was an old butterfly door. So I just cut it to size so it fit in the bathroom in here, so I didn't have to buy anything, which was nice.
Here's the bathroom. There's room for one person at a time. But we actually designed it just so that you can actually shower. Little like elbow room. And this is a homemade compostable toilet with a urine diverter that goes into the gray water tank. And then so I fiberglassed the tub of the bathroom. So this is all fiberglass, aka waterproof. And then John made a drain, just a hole in the ground pretty much, but also into the gray water tank. And then we have shower curtains that goes on 4 hooks around. So you could make it a shower, although we just use it as like a rinse off shower every now and then. And most importantly, as like a drying room for towels and wetsuits and everything when we're out surfing. We decided not to have a 100% functioning shower. It's low pressure, and we haven't installed the hot water and transformer yet, like the hot water heater. Yeah. We will, but it's not the shower that you have at home. So we shower at fitness centers a couple times a week.
So we have a little closet here for jackets and stuff that we wear a little more often, and that are just annoying to store otherwise because you have to fold them and it's not worthwhile. We built the closet and then got lucky and found these baskets, and then also got lucky again. Batteries fit right behind these baskets and don't stick out. And luckily the inverter is actually right down here. We have a 3000 watt Energizer inverter, the pure sine one. And I just used 2-gauge wire and looped it all together, and it made all the electronics copacetic. We have 2 Windy Nation 100 watt solar panels, the sheets, so we didn't have to have any brackets or anything up top. A total of like 430 amp hour batteries, which we only use half of, so maybe 220 amp hours usable. And on a bad day, we use 70 amp hours, and that's pretty much just the fridge, because each of the recessed lights is only 3 watts. So this is the only electric that we have, and then when Ina grinds our coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
To find places to park and for overnight or even for the day, we use iOverlander. So they'll tell you if it's all right for overnight. And then also we have this website we really like. It's called Boondockers Welcome. Right. And it costs $30 for the year. And it's a whole bunch of people. It's a big community online where you can just like request to stay with them. And sometimes they'll give you electric and water for free too. And they'll let you park in their driveway. Some people are like insanely nice.
John came up with the idea, instead of purchasing an actual jump seat, because they're expensive, I don't know how much, he just built one, and it's literally just a piece of plywood and with a supporting foot, and then I sew this cushion to fit on it. That's the seat belt that goes in. So you're safe on the road as a passenger, so like that. So it works well. We use it every day. And then the dog always sits in between us. She's gotten really comfortable on the road, luckily. She's really nervous at first. And then this is also extra storage, aka John's closet. And then the only button that works here is the swivel doors. We had these in the garage, coincidentally, and it's like a little bugs nest thing. Keeps the bugs out. Last thing here is this extra mirror that John installed. So it came with a backup camera. Super easy to install, I guess. It's just a little camera that we hooked up on the back bumper. We talked about having one of those bench with a table in the middle that you have to assemble into a bed, but we were able to fit both because it's kind of a large bus. So I'm really happy about having the bed here permanently. John raised it as much as possible to be able to fit all the bikes and everything in the garage. And as you can see, there's still a lot of headroom for just being comfortable in bed. And so it's a queen size mattress that we had in the house. And then we found this bed frame on the side of the road that we just reused because why not, looks fine. And it came with these, that's ventilation, so it doesn't get any moisture mold people talk about on the mattresses. So it works really well. In the corner there you see a nightstand that I built. As a little bookshelf for aesthetic reasons, and it's fun to have a couple of books because you have a lot of free time on the road. And then our beloved plants that's like 5 or 6 years old. So it takes up the whole bedroom area pretty much. Woolen baskets up there for underwear and socks, and just a little fruit basket.
One of Venus' favorite parts is the garage door. So you can open the garage doors, which are we access our bikes through, and that was the old handicap lift. So you can have a nice view of wherever you're at for sunset or sunrise or whatever time you are, wherever you are. In order to afford living on the road the way we have been, we have only been surviving off savings, but we saved up a good amount, each of us, and between the both of us, we try not to spend more than $1,600 a month, so $800 each, and that covers most, depending on what we're doing, most of that can be our fuel. But we do all our cooking inside, and luckily the activities we like to do are free.
This is one of the 2 bikes that we brought with us, like you see on YouTube, that you just take out the seat and the back front tire, and you fit them perfectly in the garage.
The garage was a bit of a hassle. We had some issues here and there, but we keep our winter clothes, our wetsuits, some extra water. We have an air conditioner, a heater. We have a generator back there too in case we ever need it. If the batteries all die and we're stuck somewhere and we can't start it, we have a jump box and everything. Unfortunately, like half the storage under here is tools because we do have to fix things along the road, and sometimes we just want adjustments. And as you can see, our insulation is here. We have 1.5 inches of insulation under the floors. My gas can and all my oils and everything, the filling hose, like a plug kit, yeah, some plumbing stuff.
The grill, barbecue.
Yeah, I have a little grill in there. Yeah, just anything you might need.
And this works as a ladder.
Yeah, and yes, that's also the step to get on the roof. In case you want to hang out on the roof. One of the uglier spots is my repair job. So before we bought it, one of the reasons we got it for such a good price actually was because there was a giant hole in the roof. And I mean, I can fiberglass. I should have just left it as fiberglass because apparently I cannot Bondo. So it was looking better, and then I Bondoed it and now it looks worse, but it is watertight, and that's really what ultimately matters.
Yeah.
And who wants to break into this thing?
We plan on living this way till the money runs out. No, till, I don't know, the summer, till another year.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
Take
No
it
plans.
as it comes.
Yeah. If everybody are interested, check us out on Instagram. It's Shuttle. It's a shuttle towards the sea.
And,
so we made it from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So
it shows some of our build and then our adventures. Thanks for watching the tour of our little tiny house. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.